fucks with me anyway. Wow, that's loud. What am I hearing? Oh, it's Cameron's background noise.
Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, nature. I'm hearing nature.
It's always nature.
Yeah.
Turns out that's nature.
So, how are they set up?
I'm listening to the pangolins. Your gain is ridiculous.
That. Hi. Yeah, I know. I have to point directly into it when I talk, so if I'm looking this way, I have to lean.
Can we turn down the gain?
No, is your volume just turned up?
My volume's all the way up.
No, because he's significantly louder than I am.
Oh, well then, what the fuck, Kevin?
Don't get mad.
Bowman, how are you doing?
I'm good.
How are the pangolins? Did Paul get to see a pangolin?
I don't know. Maybe we should have taken him. We should have taken him for sure. But he saw a lot of fun stuff. That's for sure. He was good, man. Wow, that guy.
But I mean, if you haven't seen a pangolin, have you really lived?
I don't know. I'd have to ask Malika.
Well, there's a difference between seeing pangolins and murdering them for soup.
Yeah, but Paul was.
I think you're making that up.
Wow.
I am 100% not making that up.
I think you're making up this suits.
Would you? It might be my volume, Kevin. Would you check that too? If that's what it is, just turn it down a little bit. Anyway, so Paul had a good time once he got out of not CM Reap.
Yeah,
Phnom Penh.
yeah. Well, yeah. So, I mean, Phnom Penh was kind of, again, that one was sort of, I think, a bit rough just because there were some major sound issues in that. But that new venue, Labyrinth, man, wow. I mean, it's like Vegas good. I sent you the video. Yeah, our PR team, we kicked ass and took names, man, and we packed the place out. And Paul just absolutely crushed it. He just released like 4 or 5 new tracks too, so it was the first time I'd ever heard him. So that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, that's a good time.
Hear him. Oh man, they were good too. It's still stuck in my head. Like he's so good as a producer. Super nice guy too. Couldn't be nicer, man.
Oh yeah, when he was in here, he was amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll see him again up there, mate, for sure. He loves Tahoe, so.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a Japanese sand bath.
The moss bath.
The moss bath.
The moth. Yeah.
There's only 2 in the country. One of them's in Tahoe, and it's a thing for him.
Yeah, he likes to ski too, I think.
This is some sort of Japanese detox.
Yeah, you like get covered in moss and steam.
I'm surprised you don't know what it is, Cameron. I would expect you to be informed on.
Yeah, it seems kind of hippie.
Yeah,
I can tell you this, man. The guy, I don't know. I think he's like 61 or 62. He looks fucking good, man.
I will say.
I was like, wow.
It took me a second. He walked in, and it took me a second to realize who it was, because his promotional poster is our younger Paul.
Yeah.
To be fair, he also was just kind of like a drunk British dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was that
unassuming drunk British guy. You're just kind of like, oh, okay.
Well,
wait,
funny.
Wait a minute, I know that guy.
He actually took the time to get. We have a venue we work with here called Cheers. That's one of our sponsors sometimes, and he actually took the time to go and meet with the owner and have like lunch with everybody. And he was like super nice, and the owner wouldn't let us pay.
This is a bar.
And then the owner. This Cheers is like it's like a nightclub restaurant on Pub Street, and he has a big LED billboard. And so, as a favor to me, he put Paul Oakenfold's poster up there for the whole week, like on the billboard. So,
well, that was nice of him.
Yeah, so he wined and dined Paul and us and like the whole crew, and then he came. We gave him a bunch of free tickets. He brought a bunch of politicians there, and man, the politicians were just like. They're
playing with it. So they're just going to have to listen to us ramble with no visual.
I don't even know if they can actually hear us ramble.
No? I should text Christian. I should text Christian.
He already wrote anyway. He was the one who pointed it out too. Okay, now we've gone completely black.
That's good.
So somehow at 113 of these, we still can never figure it out.
I think this is a charter problem. I don't think this is an us problem.
Ah, that's no good. Anybody have data on their phone to use? Also, if it was a charter problem, I don't think we'd be able to hear each other. No, it must be like I don't know, like I'd say 8 meter by 8 meter LED screen in the back that's like crystal clear, and then there's like there's the whole floor is all sand, and then there's like a raised area that's beautiful teak wood. So you walk up on it, and that's like where the dance. There's like a dance floor above a dance floor, and it's just it's a sexy venue, man. And the other thing I liked about it too is they had on Friday, and then I was DJing the next day over the top of a pool, and there's like nobody there. But it was just funny to like the whole experience of going from like touring with Paul to my sold out open mic to me DJing to an empty pool.
There's kind of the way
like
the business works, right?
Yeah.
Like the ups and downs are substantial.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as you're, that's the beauty is I'm not like, I mean, obviously I get into a bit of skiing, anything or anything like yet anyway, but I make money out of it, and I have fun, and it's interesting it does change though the whole perspective for me, like, because I can't. It's like the same as when I used to run movie theaters. After you're a projectionist and a director of technical services, you just can't watch movies at other people's movie theaters because you're always going to find the xenon bulb needs to be replaced, or the reflector's misaligned, or you know what I mean. You're going to find holes in everything.
Yeah.
So I can't really go to other people's shows, so I just don't buy tickets to stuff, and then I always end up on the guest list.
I think internet's back.
And we're back.
Nope, there's the background noise.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
I thought you were going to finish the song. I'm so disappointed.
How's the laptop? Connecting again?
Well, this is disappointing. Especially after our
well.
cigar review killed it. Casey and Kevin's cigar review killed it. I wasn't even there.
207? Got 7 new subscribers.
Is our podcast literally the weakest of all the casts?
Not bad for a couple
yes.
of Muppets.
Oh God! All right. Well, that's unfortunate.
It's recording to somewhere and loading it up eventually. It's just back.
Yeah. As soon as I get the equipment, I'm going to start my DJ cast under Big Ash.
Yeah.
So, and I've got a couple of different DJs that are going to go on it too. So it's not just going to be me every week, but yeah, it should be really cool. I think it'll add another layer of things, and I'm seeing if I can find some stuff that are good enough so that
Dude, Charter
we'll
Oak
definitely
slaughtered it.
Yeah.
Better, I guess.
True.
yeah, yeah, which would be kind of unfortunate.
How's that going, Kev?
Ooh, camera's moving pretty well now.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
It seems a little better.
Who's your internet carrier?
Spectrum.
And we'll take a
on
moment
your
to
phone.
thank our sponsor, Gansberg, made with tiny Cambodian hands.
For the German people of Cambodia.
Ansba.
And just the knockoff.
Dude. Yeah, for real. The Chinese knockoff version. Oh man, so they just started you know, there's the ring pull thing I've told you guys about, the how when you pull the beer you pull it, you can win a beer, you can win $50, you can win 20 grand.
Mm-hmm.
So
Looks pretty good, Kev.
Heineken, who I'm not gonna, you know, talk shit about because they were our sponsor for the Oakenfold show, but they've come together and lobbied the government to ban that.
Hey.
Why? Why do
And-
they care?
Yeah, well, so this is what's cool. It's interesting. Hun Manet, the prime minister, he's pretty smart, dude. He said that okay, well, in 6 months to a year, we'll sit down and have a meeting, and we'll make a decision from there about banning it. And then he had a press release sent out that said Cambodia to ban ring pulls, because I think he knows that the populace is going to uprise, because they did this before. They did this like 6 years ago, and it lasted for like 3 months. 3 months, and all the villagers stopped sending rice. Like they totally, because these people, the working class people don't drink Heineken. Are you kidding me? Like they drink local beer, and it's about a 33% win ratio. So if you buy 24 cans, you're going to get a pretty good. You're going to get a bunch of free beers, and so it's actually part of Cambodian culture. The way they drink, what they do is, the first person buys a box, they bring it to the table. This is after they get off work. First person buys a box, then they all drink, and they throw all the ring pulls that win into a bowl, and then the next person takes the ring pulls and goes and buys another box, and then they just keep doing that until they're done, until they want to go to sleep. And so it's like literally part of their cultural drinking culture. So it's going to be a real problem if they actually ban it again, because the working class it's not like the working class is going to go start buying Heineken, man.
I mean, it'd be no problem for Heineken if they just priced themselves better than the local beer.
Well, I mean, what I was saying is, if I was Heineken, why wouldn't you just go, hold on, so they're offering $20,000 and about one person a year wins? Why don't we offer to win $100,000 and we give out one winner every quarter?
Well, where are they
And it'll
producing
be-
their Heineken?
Here.
Are they?
Yeah, they also own Tiger. So
Because it might be if they're producing for multiple markets out of the same factory that they can't do that.
yeah, I mean, it's possible, but I mean, maybe that's something they should fix, because it's like, instead of trying to change the game to make it your rules, which is not going to work, because all it's going to do is make Cambodians hate Heineken even more.
Yeah, but it's interfering with their economy of scale.
But what's going to happen, I can tell you this already, is that the bars, the first thing that's going to happen is the bars, because the bartenders, most bars, part of the thing is they keep the tab. So if you're at a bar and you pull the tab and then you give the beer to the person, and then the bartender or the waitresses, they put them all into a thing and they get them. So that's kind of part of their pay.
Okay.
So the bars are going to revolt first, and they're just going to say, okay, we're not going to carry Heineken anymore. So all the bars are going to drop Heineken, and that's going to be strike one. Then they're going to realize, oh no, I'm not going to carry Heineken. I was about to. I was like, because Heineken was our sponsor, and they came out with it. I have to say, they came out with a beer. It's called Heineken Silver, and surprisingly, because I hate Heineken. I think Heineken is absolutely disgusting. But Heineken Silver, I expected to be even worse, and it turns out it's actually quite drinkable. It's a nice beer, especially in hot weather, But I was about to buy like 20 cases of that. Nope, not doing that now.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think we're back in. So Cameron was telling us. Cameron, I think I'm drinking your favorite bourbon.
What's what?
Cameron was telling us that Heineken
Booker's?
really isn't bad beer.
No. Heineken Silver.
He's like
Heineken itself is absolute utter rubbish. But I can't stand it. It tastes like a skunk. But the
Heineken Silver.
I was very surprised that Heineken Silver is actually quite drinkable. I was like, wow, because that's the sponsor we ended up having. That's why they gave us money. So
Is that the zero alcohol Heineken?
no, it's just 4%.
Lane, which one's which?
The one is the Weller Special Reserve, and the 3 is your 95.5 rye.
Got it.
From Rare Cake.
And you said you think you're drinking my favorite? That's Booker's then.
I know. I'm aware. It definitely has a Jim Beam nose. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, sorry, go ahead.
I'm undecided on the proof, but it feels like a Booker's.
Could be that or the Bakers then. But by the way, the cocktail that the old fashioned you recommended, I sent to Jeannot, and he just wrote back and said, "Fuck no."
That's fair.
Do you want to tell them what it was?
No, I don't. But I do want Jeannot's. I want some, I want to know what Jeannot thinks for some flavors so I can craft a gin old fashioned.
Yeah, I like the tequila. I think the tequila or the mezcal one I think will work.
Those will be great. I'm just not sure
You know
which
what
one. I'm not sure which puree will go better with smoke, but they'll be great.
I wonder. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, one of the things I wish I could get out here. I'm not sure if you guys have ever had it. Is bacanora, which is like so there's like tequila, then there's which is tequila. Tequila is just tequila. Then there's mezcal, which is completely different, and then there's bacanora, which is made from asparagus, I think, and it's actually really, really good. And I can't find it anywhere, but it's a really interesting flavor that I've never had before. When I lived in Mexico, I got to drink that and sotol, which is another one that's made from some weird fruit or some weird vegetable. But I like getting the more strange off the. I did find there is a distillery here that apparently makes some quite good bourbons and rum.
I think you'd be a fan of that Tabasco one. Who made that whiskey?
The Dickel.
The Dickel Tabasco whiskey.
The Dickel Tabasco whiskey.
You like weird things like that?
No, man, I draw a line somewhere. But
that.
but yeah, I'm gonna go check out this distillery, and I think we'll be able to get a tasting.
That should be fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best part about owning a bar, is we can, we get invited to go do tastings and stuff. We have people coming down all the time now, so
True.
we're not even finished with the bar either. We just barely. I'm actually going to go over after this. I'm going to go over ironically, one of the people I used to work with at Burning Man, Boone. He actually came and rented a room at my guest house for a week, and he was like, "Hey man, I want to help you build your bar." And I was like, "But you're paying to stay here." And he was like, "I don't care. I just want to help you make it awesome." I was like, "Sweet." So I've got like a really great builder and artist here. So
Sucker.
that was good timing.
You better take care of him, Cameron. I mean, he's building your bar. All right. So
I do.
Asparagus liquor.
Yeah.
So Cameron, here's what I need you to go find. Because if there's anywhere in the world that it still exists, it's probably Southeast Asia. Mm-hmm. George Dickel did a Tabasco flavored whiskey.
I just said that too.
Yeah. You're gonna need it. That's what I'm saying. But if there's anywhere it still has it, I was trying to yell at you over there, like tell him to go look for it. I bet there's random caseloads of it.
I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
I don't know about that, mate. I mean, no, I don't know. I actually didn't think about that, Christian. I don't know if it made my piece smell like asparagus.
I was thinking exactly the same thing, Christian. I was like, as soon as he said, I think it's made from asparagus. For the record, mezcal is not a completely different thing than tequila. It's the same plant, but not the same strain, effectively, for your weed smokers out there. And it goes through from properly made tequila, not from shit tequila, one extra step, effectively.
Well, yeah, it's the way that it's like they bury it and they
smoke it.
It's delicious. I love mezcal.
But it's rarely blue agave.
Yeah, no, they don't usually use blue agave. But I mean, yeah, the thing is, the tequila market was basically the tequila that we drink in the States is mostly not real tequila, like the way that they actually make tequila.
False. You just weren't looking for the right tequila. We get plenty of fantastical tequila. We get what is largely considered to be the best tequila in the world in the States.
Yeah, do you want some?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying. What I'm saying is that for the regular pleb, they wouldn't know what the difference is between the real good shit and
Yeah.
But yeah,
Casey was offered some Clase Azul, which is $150 to $300 bottle, and it's just garbage.
Christian still wants you to name it Poorhouse.
Poorhouse.
Yeah,
The bar?
Well, we named it the Craft.
Was
Like-
there a movie?
Like that
Right.
that witch
Are you
movie?
gonna have some goth-looking chicks at your
Yeah,
bar?
is this a goth bar? What is
Is Adele dyeing her hair
is-
black?
Is it industrial night every Sunday? Like,
I mean, why not?
Do I need to send you some Doc Martens?
some chain jeans?
Emergency Doc Martin drop.
Yeah.
No, we named it the Craft because so essentially June 18th we're going to do a craft beer festival there, and I was just thinking to myself, we're doing craft beer because we're not serving. We're serving the Gansberg and all that, the local stuff, but that's on the bottom shelf because Stonehead is providing us with sponsorship and giving us a fridge, so all their stuff is going to be on the top shelf, and then there's Indochine, which is the next shelf, and then there's
I'm sorry.
Kingdom Brewery.
You have a beer called Stonehead?
Stonehead's the name of the company.
Okay.
Do they not make a Stonehead beer?
No, they make well, it's just called Stonehead IPA, but they make Smiling Evil, which is by far the best IPA out here, and honestly, it holds up to any IPA I've ever had. In who wrote what?
I am still looking for
No.
like there's an IPA out there. It's a double IPA that I desperately want to try. There's actually a couple because we can't get Heady Topper here, which I would like to try. But there's one just because of the name, and it's supposed to be pretty good. It's made by a company called Three Floyds. I'm pretty sure it's Three Floyds.
Three
It might
Floyds?
no, it's in fact it's Pipeworks. I think it's Pipeworks.
All right. Pipe works.
The beer is legitimately called Ninja versus Unicorn. And that's and on the can there's a ninja fighting a unicorn.
Is this the same people that make Disco Ninja?
No. That's Revision.
Disco Ninja's pretty dope too, though.
Yeah, but Ninja versus Unicorn is like
It's the sequel. First you drink the Disco Ninja, then you followed up with Ninja versus Unicorn.
Had some
So
funky
Christian,
stuff in that.
Christian, just so you know, what's really funny about that is the brooms that they actually use out here look exactly like witches' brooms. And the other day I walked up to the Australian and I was like, "Here, you can ride home faster."
Hey, you can't park this here.
how did that work out for you? Are you missing
She
any?
laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she thought it was funny. Well, it was. Yeah, we were in a good mood. It was.
At least she's accepting of her nature.
But yeah, man, it was. I literally have 4 of them there, and yeah, I just like the idea of the craft because it's just because we're gonna do craft cocktails, craft beer, craft food,
Arts and crafts,
Witchcraft.
macaroni necklaces.
witchcraft, yeah, macaroni necklaces, yeah, for sure.
With the added chicken bone in the center.
So the name of our hostel is Co-Live, which is because it's also a co-working space, so it's going to be called the Craft by Co-Live. So, yeah, that's the plan.
All right.
Also,
And a
I think
solid
there's
plan it
already.
is.
Also, Christian, I think there already is a poorhouse here, and they. I don't think I would. You have to file for. I looked and found that there's no place named the Craft because you have to come up with 3 different names to get what's called the Patang out here, which is ownership. It's like a kind of the same thing as a trademark, and then you have to get 5 licenses after that, which is actually that part's amazingly easy. The main one, which almost nobody gets because they're idiots, is the environmental license, which you would think has something to do with the environment. But what it actually has something to do with is the people around you and the sound. So if the people in the village don't all agree at the village chief, the village chief takes a vote. And if the people don't agree, then you can't get an environmental license. And a lot of bars will just open without it, and then they end up putting in a bunch of money, and then they get shut down. There was a German guy recently out here that he probably put in, I would say, a good $150,000 into a bar downtown that literally is 5 feet away from the zone where you're allowed to have loud music. And he never thought to go and check that. So then he opened, and he was open for about 3 days. And the Australian and I were driving down the street, and I saw that there was like 20 government officials out front taking pictures, and I was like, oh no, I've been there.
Are these expats from other countries not familiar with zoning?
They think it doesn't exist.
Oh.
It's people act like this is Pandora or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's really weird. I mean, I guess because I've done business in multiple other countries, I've learned some pretty interesting lessons, and I know that it's like there is law here, you know. And what's weird about Cambodia is, as opposed to Thailand, in Thailand you can pay under the table, but trust me, when you do that, they're going to keep doing it, and they're going to want more and more and more and more until you go broke.
Well, yeah, that's how that works.
Here, it's actually above board, strangely enough, and but you can pay extra fees to get things done faster, or to get but it's all done above board with paperwork, and I found that really interesting.
So they've legalized bribes.
Pretty much. I mean, pretty much that's it. It's just, do you want to speed up the process? Do you want to do this and fill out this paperwork and pay this extra fee, and we'll expedite that. But you can't get around the commune chief, the village chief. If they don't like you, then you're done. But luckily, we lived there for 2 years before. Like I told you, we waited for a long time. We looked at like 20, 30 buildings, including we almost bought the one that venue. Mark and I almost bought that venue, but it was going to be, man, there's just no way. It would cost so much money. But luckily some Japanese guy bought it. But we kind of figured it out, and then we went around, we talked to all the neighbors. Everybody was like, hey, yeah, we definitely want you to do that. I'm employing a bunch of the local villagers and their kids to that are like 18, 19, that are going to work at the bar. Buying all of my beer, the local beer and all that stuff, I'm buying instead of buying direct from the distributor, I'm going to pay a little bit of a markup, and I'm going to buy it from the local distributor that's there. So all of them went and voted for us. So we'll get that license, which is good. It's a good country to do business in, man.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I'm probably never going to do business there, so I'm just going to have to accept it as fact.
Well, I mean, you never know. The other great part about it is it's a 10% blanket tax, no matter what. Just 10% blanket tax. So I like that part.
Like of your sales?
It's a profits.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
but what's the 10% based on? Your sales, what you're paying people, like your personal income? What are we talking about here?
It's your net. 10% of your net.
Yeah, so it's a sales. Yep. It's a sales tax.
Yeah, basically. So, but it's after all expenses. Basically, though, I have a really good accountant, and it's really similar here.
Cameron's really good at laundering money.
But the thing is that it's interesting, like, because it's the same as anywhere else, but because it's Cambodia and things are so much cheaper, I'm able to get into the kind of tax bracket that high level business people get into, to where it's like not tax bracket, but I'm able to write off a lot because I own a business, right? So where in the States, I'd have to own a fucking multi-million-dollar company to do that. I can own one here that's probably going to make like $100,000 a year, and I'm good, and I can write off pretty much everything. It's a good system here.
That's not really true. You can do the same stuff in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have to. I mean, it's a little bit more codified.
Thank fuck you're not in California.
Yeah, that's true. That's different. They just have a bunch of administrative, I don't know what you would call them, fees, taxes, both. You just end up paying a lot for random things. You're like, oh, you wanted a road, like a sign. That'll be 10 grand.
Yeah, so that's the other thing that's cool about here. Is that the village chief already approved our signage, so we don't have to pay anything.
I will say that's damn near impossible in Tahoe.
Christian's just being mean.
Is he?
Christian,
I can't see any of it.
Christian, you menace. No, they only use tiny Cambodian hands to make Gansberg.
Well, that's not true, because if that was true, there'd be no domestic production.
Yeah. Besides, who also made those tiny Cambodian bridges? And those tiny Cambodian bars.
What do
And those tiny Cambodian stools. And those little tiny Cambodian parts that go in the tuk-tuks.
Speaking
Is
of
this-
which, my
is this
tuk-tuk
like
is broken down.
Is this like the Russian railway in reverse? They made everything smaller with small hands so that like no other country could be involved.
Yes, big Russian hands make big Russian things.
Guaranteed service contracts.
Tiny Cambodian hands make tiny Cambodian things. It's easy. What are you not getting about this?
Where did the Russians come into this picture?
The Russians are everywhere. Don't you know? KGB, FSB?
They
You
own a
don't think they
couple
have
islands down
network
here.
in Cambodia, my friend? Let me tell you. Where do you think they get the vodka from?
Oh, by the way, Lane, what did you think about that vodka that I found? Is that any good?
Which vodka? Oh,
The
I sent you a picture of it.
the
you?
vodka
When?
made by tiny Russian
I did not
Cambodian
see a
hands.
vodka picture. Hold on, let's find out.
Fuck, did I not send it?
Oh no,
Retarded
it
if I
came
didn't.
through. It was delayed. Oh, Russian Standard. Russian Standard's decent vodka.
Because that's what I'm thinking about carrying for, and it's the gold one. I guess there's different ones.
Yeah. Okay. So to be clear, there's no such thing as good vodka. It's all crap.
Stoli.
It's all crap.
Stoli.
All
Come
crap.
on now, absolute.
Crap.
Stoli.
It's all crap. Dude, you can turn around vodka in about 16 hours.
Even Tahoe Blue's crap.
Tahoe Blue is definitely crap.
That's not vodka.
But
Do you
is
remember
it?
what we
That's gin in disguise.
Lane, do you remember us making our own vodka, or at least almost getting there before you decided to move back to Tahoe?
Yeah.
The smell of the apartment, dude. I'll never forget bringing a girl back there, and she was like, "Oh my God, what is that smell?" And I'm like, "We're fermenting stuff."
There's a joke to be made there, and I'm not going to make it. No, because all vodka is cheap. Like, you can kind of clean it up a little bit, but it's all just trash. I think, like, the companies like Chopin, they're doing, like, 100% potato or 100% whatever, and they're only distilling it 3 times, so it leaves a little bit of the character of the grain that they're using or, you know, whatever they're producing the wort with. Fine. Probably a little bit of character, but most vodkas, like, Grey Goose is trash.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Grey Goose is disgusting.
I love the story of Absolute. That's my favorite. You told me that one, Lane, about how that all came about.
What is that?
Absolute.
Yeah, how Absolute, because it was like a marketing guy that was like, I have a name. What kind of liquor are we gonna make for it?
No, that's
And they
great.
said,
That's Grey Goose.
oh, is that Grey Goose?
That's
okay.
Sidney Frank. Sidney Frank and Grey Goose. Sidney Frank might be the greatest alcohol marketer ever. He's responsible for so many different brands, like not the least of which is Jaeger.
Oh, he's the one that imported it, right? He's the one that found it and imported it.
Yep, first alcohol promotions girl ever. I mean, outside just random cocktail waitress was a Jaeger girl in North Carolina in like 1972. But no, he was like he did so many like. Now everyone does it, but when he did it, people were like, "Whoa, you can do that!" So like, he goes, "We're gonna make vodka because it's easy," and they're like, "Where are we gonna make it?" He's like, "I don't know." They're like, "Well, let's." And they named random state. And he's like, "No, let's make it like it's got to be expensive." He goes, "We're gonna make it in France. Everything from France is expensive, so it's gonna be French."
All right.
Cool.
Checks out.
Then they make it. Some random paper called it the greatest vodka in the world or the greatest tasting vodka or something. Became his tagline forever. He made his bottles too tall to fit on any shelf with a shelf above it. So it had to be on the top shelf in grocery stores.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
Smart move.
Yeah. The frosted bottle was his thing. And then everyone did it. But it's just, I mean, it was all a marketing gimmick, which fine. It was a really good marketing gimmick, but that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty. Oh, by the way, speaking of marketing, it's so funny. So I'm like at my show and with the Oakenfold thing, and this Heineken girl walks up to me and she's like, "Would you like to buy a Heineken? It's on special today." And I was like, "Oh, really? How much is the special?" And she was like, "It's only $3.50." very cheap. And I was like, yeah, you're my sponsor, actually. So I think you can just give it to me. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. I was like, it's okay. Just give it to me. And then she was all embarrassed. But it was just funny. They tried to sell me my own fucking sponsor.
Hey,
I mean, that's how it goes.
she's doing her job.
I actually told her that too. I talked to her later, and I was like, "By the way, this is like towards the end of the show. I was like, by the way, I wanted to let you know that's good work. You were doing a good sales job." And she was like, "Oh, thank you. I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "No, don't be sorry. You were doing a good job. You know."
All right. Look here. Look, Christian wants to talk about Star Wars.
What's he want to talk about?
Oh, here we go.
I will say, let me say before
he's
Christian,
a dick, and he said, "May the fourth be with you." Go fuck yourself.
So I'm not gonna say it rose to the level of good.
Okay. Did you watch? Yes.
Yeah,
Did you?
it did get better.
Okay. If you compare it to the last three,
Yeah.
drastically better.
Yeah.
Did it do anything? No.
No, still not great, but it was more coherent at least.
Yeah, except for the last episode where the South Park Disney episode came into full contact.
Which one?
Actually
Which South
accurate.
Park was?
Instantaneously, I was like, "Oh, I know what's happening here."
Which South Park
the
episode?
South Park episode that makes fun of Disney and their
Where Mickey
House of Mouse.
Well, yeah, when Mickey Mouse like walks in, he's like, ha ha, and he just like rolls up his sleeves, and he's just like, it's just accosting people. He's like, is that the one, or is that a different Disney one?
No, the newer Disney one, like the one that just came out, like a
I
year
haven't been
ago.
watching South Park.
Yeah, it was like a year ago. I think
Unfortunately.
it was one of their specials that came out to just shit on Disney.
Dude, that rye has a serious bite to it.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, you're right. It wasn't terrible.
It's only 123.
but it wasn't good.
No, but I mean, it wasn't nearly as offensive as the first three episodes.
Although, you do notice the drastic difference when Forrest Whitaker's acting takes over. Because fucking hell, does he own those scenes?
Oh yeah, it's Forrest Whitaker.
They got Whitaker in there.
Oh, Forrest Whitaker's in there. Legitimately, the only
Yeah, he comes back as Saul Guerrero.
real actor that shows up, and you go, oh, somebody went to Juilliard. The rest of you might not have, but Forrest Whitaker. Yeah,
And George Lucas was like, "What the fuck?"
It's like, well, he told him, he's like, he would never, like, this character would never say this.
yeah.
Like,
He's
this isn't my line.
First of all, I'm the character. You've trusted me enough. Let me work this out. Okay, and then he
I
just
mean,
ad-libbed
it saves the whole movie, dude. Just the fact that he's just that confident. It's just amazing. It's like that is Han Solo. Like that. If he had said "I love you" too, it would have just been that whole character would have crumbled.
Right.
But
I
would
mean-
be like, "What?"
Given Harrison Ford, like he also did save fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark
Yeah.
the same way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're
Oh,
gonna
with
fight.
the
You're gonna
gun-
fight
the
this
gun?
swordman, dude. He's like, I got the flu and I'm shitting myself. Boom! I'm just gonna shoot him and we'll be done. All right, I like
Funniest scene in the whole movie, bro.
that.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Walk away. You're like, oh, okay. Well, good job, Indy. Not his best
God,
line.
I
My
couldn't
favorite
stand
one is
that.
still the fucking no ticket line. That's still my favorite of all time.
No ticket.
What? Which one?
Oh, that's
In Last Crusade,
yeah.
when he throws those German dudes off the blimp, and everyone looks around at him, and he just goes, "No ticket," and then adjusts his jacket, and then everyone gives him his ticket. I love that part.
That's fucking funny. Dude, I remember watching that Crystal Skull one, and then there's Shia LaBeouf like swinging through the vines with monkeys, and I was just like, dude, what the fuck am I
Oh
watching?
yeah, I mean that was the scene where I mean it wasn't good to that point, but that was the scene where I'm like I can't. It's Shia LaBeouf swinging through the trees with monkeys. Like I can't.
That's where
We've lost the plot.
that's where the moment where you go, you know what, Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift was better than this movie.
Right? Hey, Tokyo Drift aged well.
Yeah,
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did. I like the
Yeah, I
story
didn't
about
expect
Fast
it
and the
to.
Furious though. That makes me fucking laugh.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
No.
No.
So there's a car collector guy who was making like really nice performance cars, and they were in magazines and stuff. And an executive for Universal bumped into him and was like, hey, here's $100. I don't want to waste your time. I want you to read this script. And initially the movie was called Redline.
Okay.
Which is also a joke because the spin-off spoof version of Fast and the Furious is actually called Redline. But anyway, so he's like, okay, I'll read it on the plane, whatever. So he's reading the script, and he's like, instantaneously, this is going direct to DVD.
Yeah.
This is god-awful. This is terrible. Like, they don't know any of the words. They don't know any, like, this is trash. But he calls the guy, and he's like, all right, like, what do you need from me? Like, he's like, I'll make some money. I don't give a fuck. And they're like, well, we need some really cool cars, like the one you had in the magazine. He's like, well, I have one. You want me to bring it down to the Universal? And I'm like, yeah, bring it down. So he brings it down. Again, he's like, in his head, direct to DVD. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Comes down to Universal. Like, they let him in the gate, and they, like, rope it off. They're like, all right, cool, you know, come on down. Everyone from that was involved in production, including, like, Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, like, they all come down to look at this dude's car. And they're like, oh, what's this do? What's that do? And he's trying to teach all these people, like, you know, that's a nitrous bottle. It makes the car go fast. And they're like, oh, that's amazing. And he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. This is going direct to DVD. I don't fucking know. Yeah. And they're like, all right, so here's our budget. We need cars like this. And he's like, okay. Well, I have a couple, but I also just do this racing tournament every week in the desert. He's like, do you just want to come and maybe, like, look at those? Yeah. And the Hollywood guy's like, can we do that? Yeah, we'd love to. And he's like, okay, I guess I'm taking Hollywood with me to this racing show. They showed up, and they just started, like, picking cars out of this group of people. And they're like, hey, can we rent this from you for a little bit? Again, the guy who set this up is legitimately like, I have no idea why they're spending this much money for a direct-to-DVD movie, but all right, whatever. So he was courteous enough to give them car terminology. He gave them like 3 pages. He's like, here's what you messed up. Here's what you need to fix. Like all these things. And they were like, okay, cool. Thanks. Like, we appreciate it. Here's your fat check. Didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, you know, doesn't hear anything. 6 months go by, gets a phone call from the Universal guys like, hey, you want to come see the movie? We're inviting all the guys we borrowed cars from that you showed us and introduced us to see the film. And he's like, you made this film? Actually going to be in theaters? And he's like, I guess I'll go, sure. So he shows up with all these car dudes. They're sitting in there, and the movie starts. And instantaneously he goes, they took my lines of dialogue for car terminology and started to combine them together. So it makes no sense. Like, anybody who's a car dude is going to be like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Gets through the whole movie. All the car guys are like, I don't know what the fuck we just watched. Clearly this is going to DVD. The guy turns and he goes, you have to fix this. Like, you messed up. And he goes, we finished the movie already. That's why you're watching it. He's like, we can't go back. Yeah. There's no fixing what we've done. And he goes, well, people are going to hate this movie. And credit to the Universal guy. Universal guy goes, car people are not going to watch this movie. It's for kids. It's for kids with no money that want these cars. They don't care about the dialogue. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't care. This is the dumbest movie I've ever seen. Goes to see it with his sons in a regular theater.
And his sons loved it.
Everyone stood up and was applauding, and he just went, I can't fucking believe it.
Cameron, for the record, you should take notes. I feel like your movies are going to have these issues because you're going to be the car guy.
Yeah, that's true. I am the car guy. I mean, that's the funny thing. I'm actually since we're on the topic, we finally figured out that Dropbox are assholes, and so we backed up all the footage on the Dropbox, which took like I don't even know how long that took. And just a second, real quick, let me grab this. My dog knocked out my charger.
At least we have a nice view now. You're welcome,
Indeed.
Viewers.
Wait for it. And you're welcome, viewers. Yeah. Look at those palm trees and partly cloudy
Those
skies
guys.
in Cambodia.
And sorry
never mind.
for the
A dark cloud has
return view.
returned.
There we go.
God damn it.
Hey.
But yeah, so we found out that Dropbox are total fucking assholes, and
Welcome back to the beautiful view.
welcome back to the other one.
Sadness.
We backed up. It took 2 days to back up all the footage onto Dropbox, and then we were like, okay, cool. Now we can share it with each other, and we can start getting to work to finish this edit and get something to Christian.
Yeah.
And then Dropbox is like, oh yeah, no, you can't transfer this out of anywhere. And we're like, what? And they're like, yeah, you can't. It just lives here now. Okay. And so they're like, you have to get a regular Dropbox account. And we're like, but we just paid for this account. And they're like, they're two separate types of accounts. So you're going to have to buy another account. So now Clayton literally had to take, he's working up in Pomona. And so now he's fast and the furiousing it down to fucking San Diego to take 2 days off work just so he can re-upload the footage to Dropbox so that Briscoe and I can start editing it. So it's
You know,
like
Cameron, I'm gonna be
ridiculous,
honest. This sounds a lot like the original process of shooting this footage, if I'm being honest.
Nothing's
No,
changed.
No, what's interesting to me is that what's weird about this movie is it's almost like a movie about itself now. It's like I just said this before. It's like the Don Quixote of fight movies. It's like the story of the.
It's so meta.
If you watch the actual show, and then know the background of what actually happened, you'll realize that the show is about making the show. It's the same shit keeps happening, right? But
So-
I'm gonna get this done if it's the last thing I do.
So it's a mockumentary now?
No. So what we're gonna have is the proper grungy fight documentary, and then we're gonna have a comedy of errors mockumentary, something akin to a Mel Brooks film, about us
Oh,
actually making the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. That's good. Well, you might as well. You might as well make the movie and then also make the making of the movie.
It'll be going down the line. It'll be go 1, 2, skip
That's
a
what-
few, 15 years later.
That's what Briscoe wants to do. Briscoe's already got a whole idea for it. He's like he wants to interview each person individually. He's like got a whole plan. He's put a whole thing together, and he was like, I want to direct that one. I'm like, okay, man. So, but yeah, it looks like finally this week I'll be able to at least get the footage. And then I'm pretty sure, Christian, by the way, on there I have a 15-minute short version of it that I cut to sell to studios, and it's definitely going to be outdated. But I'll send it to you just so you can see it. But I probably wouldn't show it to anybody else, and because we're going to have to take all the footage, put it through the new Adobe Premiere and After Effects, correct it, color correct, all that stuff, because it's going to be way outdated. But at least you'll be able to see what it is.
Well,
You know what I mean?
if I remember correctly, when you cut the first short, there was some aversion to going through all of the hours of footage to create it.
Yeah, so what it was, I think, was 8 months, and essentially, you know, after the Preston thing, we were all deflated, man. We had spent, you, Scott, myself, Cruz, Preston, everybody, we were just all, and then we had the deal that we were going to have with Five Continents Television, and that fell through because they were like, the story is too sad. And I think all of us were just like,
That was
we were
that was a really shitty day in Santa Barbara.
yeah. I mean, it was rough, dude. But I still managed to cut a 15-minute like short version, and I showed it to Scott, and Scott was like, all right. He was like, I think we can probably do something with this, but I don't. He was like, it looks good. Like, you've done a lot of work, and
Apparently,
then I basically.
it's showing up here. Christian just said the pod just ended.
Tell him to text him and tell him to close it out and then open it back up because it did it on mine.
Yeah, it stuttered on mine for something. I don't know why.
Okay.
And it was because it finally caught up to itself.
Oh, is that okay?
I think that's what it was. It was done streaming from whatever they had
Yeah.
and caught up.
Okay.
So he might miss out on some things, but He even like on here, he messaged Harlan Davis Clicks vodka is really good.
Yeah, I
False.
saw that.
No vodka is
elite
good.
vodka.
Elite, Stoli Elite.
Stoli.
Stoli.
Ugh.
Stoli just declared bankruptcy.
Ooh.
Ooh, so
Really?
it's on the market for cheap?
Yeah, I mean, that
Do I know
company's
that-
massive.
I know that I just look like a heroin addict on fucking screen, but a bug flew into my shirt, and I'm like trying to get it out. Turns out there's a lot of bugs in Cambodia. Oh, but
Would have been a bee. That would have been exciting.
yeah, that would have been exciting. I like bees. They're fun.
Don't they have
They
those
don't
big
sting me
wasps
for some
over
reason.
there? Wasn't
I
that?
don't know.
Well, as
Yeah,
long as you
yeah.
don't swat them at
They
them
do.
or anything, you should be fine.
Yeah, those like big killer ones and big boys.
Yeah, yeah. So what's interesting about the wasps out here is literally like it's so the wasps they can fuck you up. There is no doubt, but they're super docile as long as you just leave them alone. And they won't even. They just kind of cruise around. They do their thing. But there's a thing. It's like a. I believe it's a variation, or it actually is the tsetse fly, which is in Africa, and it got somehow migrated here. Most likely, if I would guess, from a Chinese person because they're careless. And sorry, China. China, but the thing it carries dengue fever. And that's how I got dengue fever in Thailand. So those things are more dangerous than the wasps, and it's a fly.
Ugh.
It landed on my forehead and it bit me. And then I swear, right after it bit me, it felt like the two sides of my brain switched, and I couldn't really speak. It was so strange. And then it went on for like 10 days. I just completely lost my mind. I was hallucinating. I had a fever of like 107, as it turned out. I should have been dead.
From a fly.
Yeah, it's dengue fever, man. It's a big thing out here.
So weak. So weak.
The podcast hasn't ended for me, from what I can see.
Casey, from the looks of it, I figured out the bit rate thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, we'll have to change it in the OBS
Yeah.
to 6,800.
Okay.
Would it affect it right now if I changed it, you think?
I don't know. Well, I'm not
Give it a run. It's not like we
I
can
don't-
fuck this podcast up any worse than we already have.
That is true.
I'm not sure I would put that in the universe, Bowman.
Yeah, that is true too.
I am smoking your guys' review cigar tonight that I'm not going to be around for. It's
And
amazing.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I've had it. It's real good.
Oh.
I'm glad we set it to the side though.
All right. Let me educate you guys
Educate me. Educate
on
me.
what the youths are doing these days.
The Utes.
Yeah.
2 Utes.
All right. Do you know what a shiesty is?
I have an idea,
Yeah?
but I want to hear the actual
I
definition.
guarantee you don't. It's an article of clothing. It's worn on the head.
It's not the bandana, but like the
No, it's not a do-rag. Nope, that's not a shiesty. All right. We would call it a balaclava.
balaclava. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, goes over the face, kind of
Yeah,
sits on the head.
a ski mask.
Yeah, ski mask. Yeah. That's apparently not a ski mask or a balaclava anymore.
They've been calling it a shiesty.
It's called a shiesty.
That's because of the one of the YouTubers. There's like a bunch of YouTubers that actually sit there and wear it while they film videos.
Yeah, it turns
That's where
out
it came from.
you can't just wear a ski mask on YouTube now. You got to wear a shiesty.
Wow. Have you guys
Yeah.
seen the new Black Mirror?
Not yet. I haven't watched the new season. I
Man,
got to watch that Star Trek episode.
it's definitely Black Mirror, man. Like,
I don't think I've ever seen any episode of Black Mirror.
It's pretty good. It's like dark science fiction.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Is it that one that I watched with you that one time?
I think you saw a couple episodes. It's on Netflix. It's kind of like short stories, but
Yeah.
they're darker tone science fiction.
There's a couple seasons of that.
Yeah, it's 4.
it's kind of
lot
like
of-
the
lot of
Twilight
episodes.
Zone. It's like the Twilight Zone, but way darker.
Yeah,
But it's all relevant to like, and it's like extremely relevant to current times. It's there's some really impressive episodes in there, man, that are where you see the parallels in actual life, and you're like, wait, hold on, this might actually be happening.
it's solid. Like there's a social social like Facebook like taken to the extreme kind of episode about social like image based on how your social media profile is for other people. That one was pretty interesting. I was like, that's pretty on point. That's interesting.
Yeah, dude, that one was definitely I mean, they're all basically a mind fuck, dude, in a major way. And it's like the new ones it's kind of one of those things because they take a while to make each season, so it's like you're like, you kind of forget about it. And then they had that whole Bandersnatch episode. I don't know if you remember that, but it was like a choose your own adventure.
The choose your own adventure was kind of strange.
Yeah, I went through all of them, and it's crazy. I don't know. That must have taken so much time to put together.
The one I liked was Kaleidoscope on Netflix. That was the heist movie you could watch in different color orientations to watch how it was like Memento, but you could choose how to watch it. But it was a heist movie.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's called Kaleidoscope.
Is it in English or is it
terrible? It's in English. It's got Giancarlo Espinosa as the main character. He does a pretty fantastic job. But it's like there's a timeline version you can watch, so you can pick the right colors to watch it in chronological order if you want to, or you can choose kind of just how to watch it, and it'll still tell you the same story. It's different. Okay. It wasn't terrible. It's 8 episodes, I think. It's like 8 different colors. Is the title?
I don't have Netflix, so I don't watch anything on there.
That's fair.
Well, I don't either anymore.
No.
There wasn't really anything good on there to begin with.
Never mind. Drive to Survive. It's the only thing I watch.
It was my least visited streaming site, so I got rid of it.
Well, and once they put the West Wing on Max, like what more do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still sell photography to Netflix for the right amount of money. I don't give a shit.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Apparently, Netflix has made a deal with the UFC to take Fight Pass onto Netflix now.
Okay.
I mean, weren't they starting to
Away
stream
from
some
who
of
was
those?
it? Was it ESPN before that?
ESPN has a pretty big chunk of the UFC stuff.
Okay.
The ESPN Plus package has that UFC add-on to it, I think.
Yeah.
And I think they added the old seasons of Ultimate Fighter and stuff that you could go back and watch. I'm not sure.
Okay. I never really watched Ultimate Fighter.
I went back and watched it because when we were filming Fightography, I think it was season 3 of Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, I was super young.
And it was actually it's crazy. It's like a window, and it was what a brilliant idea. Because if that was the perfect timing, because everybody was tired of reality television at that point, really. But then that was like a completely different level of reality television.
It was the reality television you wanted. You wanted the two guys who hated each other to start punching each other in the face. This is the perfect opportunity.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like it was. I mean, what a brilliant idea, and especially to have the first one with Chuck versus Randy, because that was like. What's weird is now they don't have the trainers don't fight each other anymore. They stopped that forever ago, and I lost interest at that point. Because it was always like it used to be that the whole fight card would end with the main event being the two trainers fighting each other. That was what was cool, is because you got to see who won the team, like which team won, and then, obviously one team lost, one team won, and then you have to watch the two coaches fight each other. And then that's like where you're like, oh man, now it's gonna get dirty because whoever's team's lost is gonna have to make up some ground. You know what I mean? And that first fight with Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner, man, oh my God, that was the first time it was ever on live television on Spike. That just changed everything, man. No, because those guys.
It was on Spike, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on Spike. Yeah, that was the craziest fight to watch. Like of all the fights, I mean, Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner, unfortunately, is dead now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he died about 4 years ago, I think. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, he died of some. I think he might have had like a stroke or some kind of a stroke or a heart attack or something. But yeah, that fight was. That's the only reason that we know the UFC that we know today is because of that one fight. And then right after that, Chuck fought Randy, and that was mental. Because Randy had beat the shit out of Chuck the first time.
Anyway, what time we got? What was that whiskey?
12:35.
That whiskey.
It's the best quality whiskey of the group.
You
The
don't
flavor
like,
profile is pretty bright.
you don't like the rare character?
I like the rare character.
Is it
It's a
too
little-
much?
It's a little harsh. A little rough.
In the like by itself, would it be okay?
No, it's a little rough.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What'd you think it was?
Tastes like a Booker's.
He thought it was Booker's.
So it's Backbone Decade Down, uncut, 110 proof.
Huh.
I think that might be the only backbone I've ever had.
Yeah, I don't.
Isn't that the one I have at home?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
you
your
took it
bottle.
home.
Yeah. Wow, I forgot.
I mean, I
forgot
I
about
would
that.
bet large sums of money there's Jim Beam distillate in there.
Oh, dude,
Probably.
that taste.
Yeah.
Has to be. Has to be.
Well, we're at about an hour and 20 minutes with all our technical difficulties,
Yeah.
which I think we figured out how we can adjust
Yeah, we'll figure it later. But it's a good show.
for what we
Yeah, I
made
mean-
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are done, that's fine.
Yeah, we can call it.
I know Lane has to be up early.
I can go. I got to go work on my bar anyway, and go get the witches ready and all that.
So she's accepting of the name now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what I'll do is I need to start. I'm going to do some stuff where Kevin, where I know Lane told me I need to do it in advance. I'll send you some of like the Paul Oakenfold videos and some of the pictures of like the bar and stuff, so you can put them up on the podcast so people can see what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll
here.
just need to open it in a separate window so I can just screen grab it and share it.
Take us
Cool.
home, Kevin. Take us home.
All right, guys, if you made it this far, you're finally getting to see me again. Hope you had a good time watching with all our technical difficulties. If you enjoyed it, do the YouTube stuff, and we'll see you on the next episode.
It'll be better next time.
Peace.